This presentation is part of the Durham College Grammar Module 1 and will discuss the 8 parts of speech. The 8 parts of speech are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. The first part of speech is a noun. Most people recognize that a noun names a person, place, or thing. For example, a noun can be a person, such as Julie or Professor. A noun can also be a place, like Toronto or city. And a noun can be a thing, such as a counter or grass. But a noun can also be something that you can't see, such as a concept or quality. Examples of these kinds of nouns are freedom and love. Essentially, anything that can be named is a noun. The second part of speech are pronouns. A pronoun typically takes the place of a noun in a sentence. The replaced words are called the antecedent of the pronoun. If you consider this sentence, you will see how the use of pronouns can result in increased variety and efficiency of a sentence. Maggie loves to lounge in Maggie's apartment in Maggie's pajamas. When you look at the sentence with pronouns, you can see that the flow is much clearer. Maggie loves to lounge in her apartment in her pajamas. It is important to select a pronoun that is gender neutral and to ensure that the selected pronoun is in the correct case. Next up we have verbs. Verbs can express action or a state of being. Action verbs are the easiest to spot. Consider the sentence, Alice paid for the repairs. Most people recognize the action verb of paying. Linking verbs describe a state of being rather than action. The most common verb to describe a state of being is the verb to be in all of its forms, such as is, was, am, and so forth. Consider the sentence, Gary is shy. There is no action involved, just a state of being. Verbs are definitely the most complex part of speech. They can be used to indicate tense or time. They can be used in active or passive form. There are transitive and intransitive verbs, auxiliary and principal verbs. It's worth spending time understanding the different functions of verbs. Determine whether the verbs in each of the following sentences are active or passive. The bird is a cardinal. The verb is a linking verb. The dog barks every morning. The verb barks is clearly an action verb. Some students find it difficult to distinguish between an adjective and an adverb. Both words are used to describe things, but what they describe is different. Adjectives are only used to describe nouns and pronouns. They are used to answer the following questions. Which one? The green shirt. The expensive watch. What kind? The steel pot. The perfect color. And how many? 16 years. Articles are a form of adjectives since they are used to specify which item you are referring to. The English language consists of only 3 articles, making this an easy part of speech to remember. The 3 articles are the, an, and a. While adjectives describe nouns and pronouns, adverbs are used to describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Adjectives answered questions like which one, what kind, and how many, while adverbs answer questions like when, how, where, and to what extent. Most of the time, words that end in ly are adverbs, such as carefully and quietly, but there are exceptions to this rule, such as costly, which can only be used to describe a noun or pronoun and is therefore an adjective. Here are some examples of adverbs. Adverbs can modify verbs, such as she works efficiently and he spoke quietly. adverbs can be used to modify adjectives. They were really unhappy. And adverbs can also be used to modify other adverbs, such as she sings very well. Prepositions are often used to modify space and time, although they can certainly do more than that. Consider how space and time are altered in the following sentences. Someone left their drink at the bar. The train traveled through the mountains. We will arrive at 3:30. Once you learn what a preposition is, they are not hard to spot, yet it's important to learn how to spot them for the purposes of ensuring correct subject-verb agreement in a sentence. Once you eliminate the preposition, the true subject of a sentence will be easier to spot. Conjunctions are used to join words and groups of words. Conjunctions are powerful words, particularly the coordinating conjunctions, because their usage allows you to avoid serious sentence errors such as comma splices, fragments, and run-on sentences. For this reason, it is important that you remember the 7 most common coordinating conjunctions: for, and, nor, bet, or, yet, and so. It will be easier to remember these if you remember the acronym FANBOYS. Notice how each letter of the word fanboys relates to one of the coordinating conjunctions. In addition to coordinating conjunctions, you should learn to use subordinating conjunctions to group words that are not equal. This includes words like although, before, and unless. And the final part of speech is the interjection. These words do not express any solid information, but rather they interject emotion. Words like wow, oh no, and gee do not typically have a place in academic or professional writing and should be avoided. They can certainly be used with great effect for personal and informal writing, though. To summarize, there are 8 parts of speech. These can be thought of in 5 categories. Nouns and pronouns are the parts of speech that name things. Verbs do things. Connectors, such as prepositions and conjunctions, allow you to connect additional words to your sentence for clarity. Adjectives and adverbs both describe different things. And finally, interjections are exclaimers of emotions. It is important to learn these parts of speech as the building blocks of understanding grammar as a whole.